Hi everybody. I'm going to go ahead and do your sketchbook feedback video first. I'm going to do it separate, and I wanted to let you know that I'm going to have a new assignment for you this week, and it's just going to be watching the video, and I'll have like 3 questions in there that you have to respond to for an assignment, just to make sure everybody's getting their feedback. And yeah, I've just been told by my higher-ups that I need to work harder, so sorry. I just gotta add that in. Okay, so let's take care of Abby first. Abby, you've got an amazing example here at first. And I love how you've got the edges done here, so you've created a nice contrast between the edge and this area being lighter than this area. Same over here. Beautiful. Your tree has got a very nice feeling of shadow and dimension, so that's great. I'm just like in love, as this must be your 8B, with the darkness that you've achieved. And this appears to be watercolor paper to me, so maybe it's multimedia, but I see the texture in your paper, which is cool. That's something that nerdy art people notice, I guess. Anyway, your flowers, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this in later slides as well. So your flowers, let me just pause a second here. Alrighty, that was just my mom calling and trying to reach my daughter who's in the other room. Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is what we call atmospheric perspective, and it's how things look lighter as they go into the distance. So that is what the artist here in the video, Paul, I think his name is, he's so cute, is trying to tell us about. And I'll show you an image of that, and you're going to get it like that. Okay, same with down here, and this is excellent. Okay, and then there we go. Okay, so this is Abby's hatching. And Abby, I'm so proud of you being a beginning artist and doing so well with your hatching. Hatching is, it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like it's a pretty advanced skill. It takes a while to get used to, and you've done a great job here. I actually love your little hatching lines here that looks like this cube is sitting on a piece of land and there's grass growing under it. That's so cute. Yep, good. This sphere that the guy did in the video, I thought that was such a weird way to teach it. I didn't get that at all. This one I think is, more suitable. I kind of always have taught it to use a moon shape for your dark side and your light side. I guess everybody has their own ways of doing things, but these are super well done. Here I think you need to work on going from dark to light more gradually, so the effect that you're wanting to achieve on a sphere is kind of like an ombre. So like here you've got it, you've got dark, a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter, and then you've got your highlight. So that's perfect. Here we've got, it just needs to have more of a gradual transition, but still very good and perfect for your assignment. And then these guys, your lines in your cubes, you're going to want to try and do those a little straighter, and I don't mind if you use a straight edge. And we haven't even learned about perspective yet, but what he was showing in the video is how to draw with perspective, but not explaining it. So once we do the perspective, you're going to get these lines that go into the distance. That'll make much more sense to you. But like I said, for now, this is perfect. Okay, and next. All right, this is Abby's getting used to using your wrist and shading to get lighter and lighter. The only thing I really notice here is, like, this one is a great drawing. This one, I see that you're oval, and then this is not really on you. This is, it needs to be a little bit more round, and then this edge here has to be curved in the same way as this edge. So that's just kind of like a future tip. But also your outlines are very strong, and you don't need to do that either. But again, perfect for now. Okay, here we go with Bailey. Bailey, I love the way you're drawing your lines. It feels like you have a lot of ease with it. And I definitely see your transitions from dark to medium to light to even white. So that's great. Perfect. Here, however, I mean, your shading is really good on the flower, the first flower, but I'm not seeing it get lighter and lighter. And like I was just saying to Abby, once you see what atmospheric perspective means, you're just going to get it. So here, you've got it. You've got the darker detail in the front, the darker shading, and it gets lighter and lighter as it goes in the distance. So that's perfect. Okay, just trying to turn down the background noise. I hope that wasn't too distracting. Okay, so your tree is wonderful. You've got nice shading underneath the, this canopy of leaves. You could have a little bit more light here, but I love seeing your dark to medium to light. That's awesome to me. Aren't you so proud of yourself drawing a tree? I think you should be. And like I said, this is perfect. Okay. Next is Bailey's part 2. And Bailey, you've done a wonderful job here creating the appearance of a sphere. I do think that you need to work on going from dark to medium to light. Now remember, this is your first time practicing. I'm just pointing it out. I'm not saying that it's wrong. What it is your very first try, very first practice. So I think for that, it's awesome. Excellent. I get the feeling of a sphere, and that's really what we wanted, right? And then here, your shading should come out more to the right, I feel, but like I said, for sake of just getting started and practicing, this is perfect. The way I think of it, and just so I can explain what I just said, is you have to imagine a light source. Okay, and I know they don't talk about that in the videos, which is weird to me because that's the way I've always taught it. So if your light source, like a sun shining or a light bulb, is up here, on the top, you're going to get your highlight. In the front, you're going to get a little bit of shading. On this side, it's going to be a little bit darker because it's out of the light, even more than this side because it's opposite, see, from the angle. And then that means that your shading should go out to this direction. Like over here, it's perfect. Over here, it just, just needs to be more in this direction, that's all. Okay, and here we've got your ease. I love that you added in the little sketchy line and tried that out. That's so sweet to me. And your cylinders look good. Again, your curve at the bottom could be a little bit more curved. And I noticed that that was something in the video as well that you need to stress a little bit more, that this curve and this curve are meant to match so that you get that feeling of the cylinder. And this is perfect. You don't really need to go with the strong outlines because what we're wanting to show here is the edge. Okay, so I know that's like, it's like new, new information, right? Outline versus edge. Chloe, of course, this is like phenomenal. Holy crap, really amazing. I can tell that you got the atmospheric perspective. I want to know what brand pencils you're using, because this is just gorgeous. And this is really not something that we would expect from Drawing One students. So you go, girl. This is just an absolutely perfect example. And same here. You do need your ground, like your, they call them cast shadows, like, you know, when you're standing on the ground and your body or whatever object it is casts a shadow. It's like casting a fishing line, right? It casts the shadow to the ground. And so you just need to add your shading for your ground shadow. It does give it a more of an appearance of dimension. That's the word I'm looking for. And then we'll get these perspective lines. You know, it's just so difficult to know what was the guy doing. I noticed he was doing it, but he wasn't explaining it. So absolutely perfect for now, of course. Oh. Okay, and here is Chloe's sphere. I'm sorry, cylinder. And I love how you did the edge without adding more outline. That was so smart. So smart. And I love the way you're signing your drawings here. That's really cute. And I also want to stress about your curves here. But that comes as you get into more advanced work. Okay, and Donovan, I think you have your sketchbook assignments in the 4-part drawing forum in the discussion board. And if you would like me to go through that with you, I would love to do that with you. I can tell that you were really thinking about this, how to add those lines that go into the distance. So just to use your example, 2 dimensions are just height, how tall something is, and width, how wide something is. When we add a 3rd dimension, which is what this class is all about, now we're measuring the depth, how deep something goes into the distance. Okay, so you've got some really nice strong lines here, and I like how bold you are with it. I think that you are meaning this to be like a progress drawing for your sketchbook assignment, and that's perfectly okay. I love seeing where you start. And then your artwork for video number 2 is, really, really exceptional. You've actually got the perspective really, really well done. And I love, your shading. I kind of wonder if, like what writing utensil you're using here, because this is superb. I do want you to get used to using blank paper. So whether it's your drawing pad for the class, or if you don't have that for the sketchbook assignments, that's fine. You can use printer paper, just as long as it doesn't have lines. Then you're golden. And then I see this is your cylinder assignment, where you're practicing using your wrist and doing a circle just by moving your wrist. You guys, I don't know if you even know what a compass is. Like when I was a kid, we had to have a compass so that we could make a curve or make a pencil, and we would always have to, do circles, and we would do graphs, and the things that we learned in the old days, I'll tell you. So I'm talking about the 70s, early 70s when I was a kid. It was just, yeah, we had all kinds of tools. But, I see you experimenting with, this looks like charcoal to me. And this looks like, I'm not sure if that's like a thick marker. Can't really tell. Or if that's your your really soft pencil that's making it so dark. But that's great, great, great. And I see that you are experimenting with trying edges here. I would like you to work a little bit more on going from dark to medium to light. So I think everybody understands what ombre is. Ombre is, you know, just kind of like a pattern. Or the word gradient, some people think. So you can look up those terms if you're not sure what those mean. And just experiment with going dark to medium to light. And other than that, you know, also check your curves at the bottom of your cylinders. Okay, so those look really good. And on to, let's see, this is Haley. Haley did a lot of work. She shared everything. So, what a gorgeous little tree you have here. It's so soft and pretty. And I definitely see your 3 levels of shading. You know, the darkest, the medium, and then the light, light, light. And I like how you added some highlights here to the branches that might, so you have to imagine the light shining this direction. So some of these branches are going to be hidden. They're going to be in complete darkness, but maybe just a little bit of the edge is showing in the light. So I think that's kind of brilliant of you. And this looks good. I can see dark to light here. Here you might want to work a little bit more on dark to light to into the distance, and we'll talk about atmospheric perspective more. But you've got it perfectly in your flowers. So the first one has the darkest shading, and then we get a little lighter, and we get a little lighter. So that's perfect, gorgeous. And your cylinder looks good too. I like you're experimenting with edges. Remember that we need a curve on the top, like a can, like a soda can or a soup can, and a curve on the bottom that matches. So just like, you know, something I'm going to repeat. And here is Haley's number 2 video. This all looks very nice for your sketchbook purpose. Here there's, you know, not as much of a difference between medium to dark, but that's okay. We're just learning. And our lines that are going into the distance, we'll be working on that more next week and learning about how things they converge toward a vanishing point. So, you know, when you're standing on a road and the road looks like it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller as it goes in the distance, you know it's not really. It's for appearance's sake. So it's just creating that illusion that the shape gets smaller into the distance. So like this line down here is going to go up and they're going to converge toward the distance. Okay? And this looks pretty good too. We want to work on, I see your light, your medium, a little bit of dark down here, so we just want to work a little bit more on that transition. And same goes here. So looks good, looks good. Okay, and here's Haley's cylinders. Pretty much I see the same things happening. Like Haley, your oval at the top, which is like the ellipse, is gorgeous, perfectly rounded, so nice and curved. And then at the bottom, we just need to match that line. You know what parallel is, you know? So you got to make this line, you have to make a parallel line, so it's like another curve. And I'll tell you, that's one of the hardest things for people who are new at drawing to understand. Excuse me. But I love how you're experimenting with edges. And here I love that you got a little bit lighter than this darker edge to create contrast. So you've gotten everything out of the video you needed to. And then I think this is your charcoal practice with Miss Lynn Schmidt, my favorite person here, and a close friend. So it was really interesting for me to watch her and how she does things. So I'm learning from her. And yeah, this looks great. You're really good at that top ellipse. And you've got your ground line here. That's the ground line, what the surface is sitting on. That's perfect. Here we have kind of a dark edge here on the edge of the cylinder, which should match up with the edge of your cylinder. So you see how it's moved over a little bit? It should, start on the outside here. But again, perfect for our purposes today. We're just learning. Okay, now this is Haley's as well, but I need to put this in the 4-step drawing. Okay. And then we'll go ahead on to Ivy. Okay, Ivy, this is really beautiful work. I really like what you did here in the tree. You really used your own style, going from dark to medium to light. So as if the edges here of the tree are kind of hitting the light a little bit. And you do see that when you look at trees. There's all kinds of things going on. If you just sit and stare at a tree and the shading for hours, oh my gosh, so cool. So this is fabulous. And the only thing I would say with this one, even though it's lovely, is I would go back and lighten up your edge. That's all. Just so we have dark, medium, and then the lightest. Everything else is perfect. This looks great. I'm so proud of you for your curves. So proud. So proud. You can tell that's like a kind of a big deal for me for some reason. I think because I teach younger kids, and kids all the time will make a curve that goes over here and then straight across the bottom. So I tend to learn to stress that with them. And your angle is a little different. So we're seeing the top edge rather than the top surface. So that's interesting to me as well. And this is awesome, awesome, awesome. Dark to medium to light. Perfect. You could also make sure that you're going to the lightest in the distance a little bit here on the edge, but that's very, very minor. Okay, here's Ivy's cylinders and practicing her curves. This is lovely, very good. This one could use a little help on your oval at the top and then your curve at the bottom. But other than that, awesome, excellent. This is so interesting to me. How you created such a strong contrast here and then got a little lighter. So cool beans. I love seeing your styles. And here we have Ivy's cubes and spheres. Okay, so here I can see the difference between the light and the medium and the dark because your lines are closer together. Here I find that the shading on the front is about the same as the shading on the side, and this side should be a little bit darker, but that's, very minor point. Like I keep saying, we're just practicing here. Our sketchbook assignments are practice drawing. And then here you need to work a little bit on dark to medium to light. And as I've said, this is kind of like an odd way of drawing a sphere to me, but I can see how it would work. And then we'll work on these lines of perspective in the coming week. Okay, here's Remy. Remy is another very talented. He came in here with talents, and it makes it hard for the rest of us, I think, when someone has a lot of skills already. So yeah, it's got a really natural feel to it, but yeah, great sketchbook drawings. Here I see that you understand completely dark to medium to light. and even on your branches to the side here, every branch has a dark side and a light side. So that's the way I was taught too. And then here I think you just need to work a little bit on dark to light, a little bit, bring in your, what's it called, that kneadable eraser, the gray thing that you can make into little snowmen. Maybe just lighten up in the distance a little bit, because you've got dark to medium down. And with your cylinder as well, you took on the same perspective as Ivy did, where you're seeing it at a lower angle, so we don't see the top surface, we see the edge as if it's like really tall. So that's cool. And same here, I would probably lighten up just the edge, but otherwise beautiful. And you know, your flowers are almost like a work of art here. I love how they're just going into the distance and fading out of our sight, almost like in a photograph when something close to you is clear and in the distance it gets lighter and lighter and it just kind of fades out. One of my favorite things. My favorite things. So excellent. And okay, your cubes. I see you measuring here, so I think you know you're going to know exactly what to do when we start perspective. And your spheres look good. This one's really especially good. I can see all your cross-hatching and how you got it, you know, denser toward the edge and then lighter toward the center. And this, I think this is a problematic way, just the hatching. I think, like I said, I think it's odd. But I still see light to medium to dark. So, well done. And let's see, this is Remy's cylinders. Okay, I think it's great, great, great. Be careful about creating the appearance of outlines when you want to create an edge. So that's new to us this week, but it's, you know, just something new, and we're going to be talking about it a little more in the future. And, oh, Remy did his charcoal too. That's fabulous. Fab. Totally fab. You got your surface. Oh, your curves are beautiful. So this is excellent. I'm so glad you shared that practice. Okay, and that's it for Sketchbook. All right, I'll go ahead and insert some questions in there for you and let you know where the questions are going to appear. And we'll be doing a feedback assignment this week.